Hello to a very jazzy studio. Yes, we've gone all Jubilee. Well, that's due to you and your requests. You've been asking me, are you going to do something for the Jubilee? Well, I'm going to be making Jubilee Cupcakes, yes, and this is something you can easily do at home this weekend, and then obviously do it for the Jubilee, which I believe is on Tuesday. And while we're here, I would just like to, give a big congratulations to Her Majesty the Queen. I think she does an amazing service for this country. I don't know how many other people could dedicate themselves to their country for so many years. So many thanks, Your Majesty. Long may you continue to reign. So let's crack on with these cupcakes. What do you have to do? Well, first of all, I've got 50 grams of just cube butter here. Now, it's best at room temperature. It's slightly chilly in here today, so it's not as soft as I would like it, but hey-ho, in it goes. Now, you could use a hand mixer for this if you so desired. I've just brought my mixer in from home. Then I've got 150 grams of caster sugar. And the first thing that we're going to do is literally whiz that up. What we're looking for is this to go, soft, light and fluffy. And this could take around about 2 minutes. So while that's doing, get your oven on at 180 degrees and get yourself the next part, which is going to be sorting out your bun tray. If you see here, I've got lots of beautiful little different cupcake cases, and I've just lined literally them in the bun tray, and I'm going to put them to one side for 1 minute. I'm just going to wait for that to whiz away. As I say, it could take around about 2 minutes till it gets really nice, light, white and fluffy. Right, well, I've mixed that all together now. Oh, do you know, it's taken a little bit longer because it is quite nippy in here today. Do you know, what is it with this summer weather? Well, no sunshine anyway, just lots of rain. Oh, well, good for the crops, I suppose. But I do hope whatever celebration you have, because I know you've got lots of street parties, you've been telling me, it's going to be a bit warmer. So now we're going to add the other ingredients. So what have we got? We've got some milk, which is about 130 mils. We've got an egg, we've got baking powder, and we've got flour. So first off, we're going to add the egg to 130 mils of milk. So in that goes there. And then we're going to add around about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So in that goes. And I'm just going to give that a quick beat. I'll use this spoon. Just to amalgamate it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to alternatively, with the mixer on, or if you've got a hand mixer, it doesn't matter, we're just going to add some flour, then a little bit of the liquid egg milk mixture, and bit by bit, so in it goes. You're going to need around about 120 grams of the plain flour. So in that goes, bit by bit. Also, we're going to add, there's my jazzy gadget. Good, nice little spoons these, aren't they? About 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. A weeny bit more there. And then a bit more flour. And a bit more egg mixture. What I'm going to do is, especially if you've got a mixer or a hand mixer, the best thing to do is you'll notice that things, nice bits of the mixture get stuck around the edge of your bowl. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop it, and I'm going to just put a spatula around the edge just to make sure I get all the ingredients in there. You can get such beautiful little cases for, all sorts of occasions nowadays. Cupcakes are one of the things that I often get asked to make for people for their birthdays, for weddings, for anniversaries, for christenings. You name it, I get asked to make cupcakes for. So I've always got a great supply of different cupcake cases and lots of icings and things. We're going to come to those yummy things later. All you need to do is literally just take a spoonful and place it in. Now, at home, I've got a really good ice cream scoop, and it's fantastic actually for putting cupcake mix in. That way you don't get it everywhere. Now all we're going to do is pop them in the oven for around about 15 to 20 minutes, as I said, on 180 degrees. Just keep your eye on them after 15 minutes. If they're springy and boingy, they're ready. So take them out of the oven at that point. Ooh. There we go. There are the little cupcake bases. Now if you can just see, boing, boing, boing. Always a child, especially with cupcakes, but they're nice and springy, they're cooked. All we're going to do now is let these cool. So you can either very carefully take them out and place them on the baking tray, on the tray rack there. So these have been actually cooling down nicely. A nice little test, if you want to just check that they are still cool, is to just touch underneath. Seriously, if you try and do this next bit with the buttercream and put it on these warm things, it will slide off. It will look the most disgusting mess that you can ever possibly imagine. But those are really cool because the studio here is quite cold today, to be honest with you. Now, what I've got here in my mixer is 400 grams of icing sugar. I've already put it in because many of you cooks at home will know you start putting icing sugar into anything and it goes poof, and I disappear within a cloud of icing sugar. So I've already added that. To it, I'm going to add 120 grams of butter. Admittedly, it's still on the wee chilly side here today, but it's starting to warm up, so in that goes. And also 3 tablespoons of lukewarm water. So we're just going to pop that in. Now, I did say that you can disappear into a cloud of icing sugar like smoke. And so what I'm going to do, you'll see me do this, is I'm going to just put a cloth over the top of this to stop it going everywhere. And then obviously as it starts to amalgamate and the butter gets nice and soft and it all starts whipping up, then I'll take it off and you'll be able to see. But this stage needs to whip for around about 5 minutes. Yeah, I bet you didn't think that, did you? But it makes it then really, really whippy. You know, like Mr. Whippy ice creams that you used to have as a child. You know, when you're icing and you're actually piping it on top, it goes really fluffy. So here goes. Again, don't be afraid halfway through if there's any of the ingredients around the side. All depends whether you're using a mixer like me or a hand mixer, but still do it. Just get all that icing sugar in as much as you can so that it all becomes amalgamated. Ooh, that has been working away hard. I remember having to do this a few years ago before I got a mixer, and it's with my hand whisk, and my arms didn't half ache after doing it, but the results are fantastic. So, God, look at this, it's like whippy, it really is good. So again, I'm just going to take this off my beater. Don't want to miss any of this buttercream out. It's slightly naughty dish this as well, isn't it? I bet you were all thinking when you looked at the other ingredients in the sponge, oh, this looks fairly low calorie with not much butter in, and here I go putting quite a lot in for the buttercream. Never mind. Let's be having a look. So, you can see that there. That's beautiful. Really nice and whippy. Now we're going to prepare to do the fun bit. I've got a few tricks for you to help you out. Tricks and tips, that's what we like. Now, I'm going to be doing some red ones, some blue ones, and of course white. Snip the end off. Get inside your bag and just literally push the end of the nozzle in. Give it a good tight squeeze, and there you go. Now, another tip is that sometimes it can be really fiddly when you're trying to do the icing and putting it in your icing bag as well. And so another tip that a lot of cooks use, they'll just turn the end over of the nozzle and put it in something like a jug so it can remain standing. So you've got sort of two hands to use. There's all sorts of things that us cooks and chefs use, really good, helpful hints. But as I said, I'm going to be doing some different coloured ones, which I think is quite fun. So we're going to really just split the mixture into 3. So I'm going to put a blob in there and another one. Just a little bit, and leave some of the white in there. And then we're going to add the colourings to it. Now, here's another hint with colourings. You can get all sorts of different colourings now, again from supermarkets, which is really, really helpful. Some are like the liquid variety. Now, they're good. Don't get me wrong, they are good. But what you will find is that your mixture will, of course, get a little bit looser because they're so liquid. So, again, from supermarkets, you can now find the gel varieties. And they're really good because, you know, they give it that more, I don't know, depth of colour, but also they don't loosen your mixture as much. Now, another thing is that when you buy these, do check the manufacturer's instructions as to how much you need to put in, okay? So I'm going to go with the red first. I'm going to try and not make a mess everywhere. Very sticky, isn't it? And then I'm just going to mix it in. Now do a bit at a time, because then you'll know how to do the colouring, and again, work with manufacturer's instructions. Can you see that colour? So just that tiny bit can go such a long way. I don't usually like a lot of colours other than when I'm doing cupcakes and things because, you know, additives and all, but you can actually get some really good natural range of icing colours now, which is fabulous. Isn't it great with what they think up? And then I'm going to do exactly the same for the blue. Wow, so isn't that fantastic? We've got some red and blue and obviously the white mixed up there, and there's the fun bit of piping. So, as I said, if you're a bit worried about using your hands and getting everything in there, then obviously, you know, do try and use a jug or something to help you along. I'm also going to use a spatula because I often find that helps get it in the right place as well. And plus it means you can get all of it out of your bowl, look, or the majority of it. And just squeeze it down. It goes into the nozzle. In you go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to do the red ones first. The reason why I'm wanting to do the red ones first is because then I'm going to decorate those, because the icing can go off. So we actually want any of the decorations that you've just, you know, you've got and you want to add, one lot at a time, then put your decorations on, then do the blue, then do the white. So I'm sure there's going to be some nice music in this section. Ta-da! Now I'm just going to clear a space and we're going to put them on the display. Because, you know, half the fun with cupcakes is displaying, you know, you've put all this time and effort and love into a product. So you want to display it nice for your guests. Oh, wow. and simply just going to add them. Now, do they look good enough to eat? I think so. But, I think there's something missing, something that I think is most important. Haha, just in case she decides to pay me a visit,